Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make a cool transition like this one between two scenes. Alright, let's get started. So first off, I'm going to delete everything I've made right here. Okay, so just to show you, here I made two scenes. So the first one has a tower on the left and the second one has a tower on the right. Okay, so once you've made your two scenes, open the File tab, Build Settings, and do not forget to add your two scenes here. We can delete actually this transition scene. All right, perfect. Let's delete the scripts. All right, to start over. Cool. So let's open the scene one maybe. Okay. Well, let's open the transition scene. Okay, let's remove everything here. Let's add it back. All right, cool. So we are going to add a new game object, UI panel. All right. So we are going to name this panel transition panel. Maybe. Okay, cool. Let's make it gray, dark gray. All right. Then we can click on the canvas and scale it with the screen size. Okay, so let's make sure to select the width if you're playing on landscape, or height if you're rather playing on portrait mode. Okay, so 1920 by 1020. All right, so that's 1080p. Okay, cool. Then we're going to create an empty parent for the canvas. All right, let's drop the event system here too. And let's rename it to Transition Manager. Okay, cool. Okay, let's create the Transition Manager script now. Transition Manager. All right. Let's drag it and drop it here over the Transition Manager. Let's reset the transform of it. And let's open it. Okay, let's reload just to start everything over. Okay, let's go. So first off, we're gonna need some references to our rect transform transition panel and another reference to the canvas, just to grab some info on the screen width and screen height. Okay, so let's drag this and drop it here, and same thing for the transition panel. Okay, so on awake, let's move the transition panel out of the way. So what we are going to do is transition panel, dot position equals vector3.left times the canvas. Wait, I think it's better to do this on the start method, under the start method. So we're going to turn the start method into an enumerator, a coroutine actually. That way the canvas can scale properly after reading the screen data, and then we can place it correctly. So here, do not forget to yield, sorry, we're going to do this before. Yield return null, and then we're going to read canvas.rect.width, I think it's divided by 2, plus vector3.up times the canvas height divided by 2. Oh, here sorry, it's not divided by 2 here. Just to have it on the far left of the screen. Okay, let's try it first. Okay, it's too far. So it was indeed divided by 2. Okay, let's try it. All right, perfect. So now we are going to try and write a coroutine to move the transition panel on the far right of the screen, or at the middle of the screen actually. So let's create a new coroutine. So move transition panel to middle. All right. So first off, we're going to create a timer. Here we can create some settings here. So let's add a settings. We're going to create a float animation duration to control the duration of the animation more precisely. And we can also create an animation curve to control the easing of the movement. All right. So here we are going to store the initial position of the transition panel. So transition panel initial position equals transition panel dot position. And we are also going to store the target position of the transition panel. So transition panel target position equals canvas.rect.height divided by 2 times vector3.up plus canvas.rect.width divided by 2 times it's vector3.right. Yep, perfect. All right, so while the timer is less or equal than the animation duration, what are we going to do? So first off, we are going to increase the timer, and then we are going to yield, just to wait a little bit. All right. Here we can move the transition panel. So transition panel.position equals, we're going to use the lerp function under the vector3 to move the transition panel, just to have a smooth movement. So we are going to lerp, so linear interpolation between the initial position towards the target position, and we're going to use the easing function. So easing.evaluate, and here we need a percent between 0 and 1. So for this you are going to be using the timer divided by the animation duration. All right, cool. And at the end we can like just debug.log no, not log error, transition panel at the middle of the screen. All right, perfect. So just to test this, we're gonna use if input get key down keycode.t, maybe start coroutine, move transition panel to middle. Okay. All right, I think we should be, one thing I forgot here is you want to use the don't destroy on load just to keep this transition manager active during the lifetime of your application, because you can use this transition panel to transition between multiple scenes, and yeah, you can have basically just one for multiple uses. Okay, so the transition will have a duration of 1 second, and for the easing I'm going to use a smooth in out. Okay, perfect. Let's try. Okay, so I'm pressing T. All right, transition panel at the middle of the screen. Perfect. So now we're going to be coding the next movement, so from the middle to the right of the screen. And be aware that you can use this code to transition from the left to the right, from the right to the left, the top to the bottom, etc. You just have to change the target position here. All right, so here, move transition panel to the left, to the right, sorry. Okay, so the target position here is going to be, we'll have the same Y value, but for this is going to be, I think, it was divided by 2, so now it's going to be times 1.5f, because the beginning of the screen is here at the bottom left. So we want to add the width of the screen plus 1/2 of it. Okay, perfect. So here I think we're pretty much done. So let's try and move it. Let's try W maybe. Okay, start coroutine, this to the right. Okay, let's start it. So I'm gonna press T first. Okay, so we're at the middle, then W. It's gone to the right. Okay, perfect. So now why did we divided these functions into two parts? This function into two parts, sorry. Because here, when the transition panel is at the middle of the screen, you want to load the next scene. Okay? So let's create this method, void load next scene. All right, perfect. So here we're going to use the library, which is Unity Engine, Unity-Engine.scene management, to be able to load the scene, the next scene. What are we going to do? So we are going to use scene manager.load scene asynchronously. It's called scene 2. All right. But we want to transition the panel back to the right when the scene is loaded. So for that, we are going to use the callback sent by the scene manager. So we're going to be using scene manager.scene loaded. So that's an Unity action, as you can see, plus equals. And now I can just hit tab to autocomplete. We're going to throw this. All right. And here we're going to be unsubscribing from this, just not to subscribe twice. So we unsubscribe, and then we start the coroutine, move to the right. Okay. And here, transition at the right of the screen. Okay. So let's hit play. Now I'm going to hit T. And as we can see, it changed the scene when the transition panel was at the middle of the screen. So that's kind of perfect. So you can now, just to show you, left, let's put it at the right. We're going to go right to left now. Canvas width times 1.5f. Here we want the target position to be the middle, and here the width is going to be left, and here it's divided by 2. Okay, let's try it out. So the transition panels should be at the far right of the screen. Okay, it's perfect. So T, it's loaded, and then back. Okay, just by changing a little amount of stuff, we were able to change the direction of the transition. And you can do the same thing from up to down or down to up. Okay, that was it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.